It's now been 4 years since I made my career change to DevOps. Today, I work as a freelance engineer doing 6-figure contracts for companies. I've been leading a community of hundreds of DevOps engineers for over a year now, and during the group coaching calls I host every single week, I still see people making the same mistakes when they're looking for a DevOps job. In this video, I'll share the main tips that I've gathered from all of these calls and that several of my students have used to land their first roles or double their salaries. So the first thing that we need to get into is the definition of the DevOps engineer role, because that seems to differ between the US and Europe. In the US, a DevOps engineer is often seen as a senior position by default. It is usually a system administrator or a software developer who has then learned infrastructure or coding, depending on where they came from, and then after about 5 years, they promote into DevOps engineering. Now here in Europe, it's completely different. Here, there is such a thing as a Junior DevOps Engineer, which we're going to look into in a second. But you need to take this into account. So if you are in the US, if you are trying to land your first job in the industry, maybe DevOps engineer isn't the title that you need to be going after. In that case, a cloud engineer or a system administrator title is actually maybe a way of getting into the industry, which will then lead to your DevOps title later. Here in Europe, we can go straight for Junior DevOps, but in the US, you might want to start with sysadmin or cloud engineer. And you'll have to research your local market, which we're going to see in one of the next sections. So just to prove my point here, I have opened a LinkedIn page here, and I'm looking for Junior DevOps in the Netherlands, and I have experience level, internship, and entry level here, not even associate. And what I get is DevOps beheerder, so that means DevOps administrator. So that's already then you would have the DevOps title on your CV instantly. You have your IT minor DevOps, DevOps Cloud traineeship. So this is also an interesting keyword to look for, traineeships. Associate Azure Cloud Ops DevOps, traineeship IT, ICT specialist, and IT traineeship, etc. So here I have 46 roles that I can apply for, which are all on a junior entry-level position when I search for Junior DevOps. So this is probably very different in the States. In that case, you would have to look for system administrator or junior sysadmin, for example. And okay, IT support is also a way into it, but I see that as one of the last resorts because many of my senior friends have recommended to me that support is easy to get into, but hard to get out of. So use that one as a last resort. Now, let's take a look at some more searches. So if you search for Junior DevOps Engineer here in the Netherlands, then at Indeed, I get over 100 of free roles here. So there's DevOps Engineer, Junior Cloud Engineer, Junior Developer, Traineeship, Junior Trading Operations, DevOps Engineer, Junior DevOps Engineer. So there are tons of junior positions here in the Netherlands that you can find. So many people from the US, they don't relate to this. They don't understand how I could have gotten a DevOps job as my first entry point in the industry. But this is why. The culture is different. But there's a way around it. So yeah, there are also like companies that have Junior DevOps Engineer straight away. So here's a Junior DevOps Engineer in Amsterdam, setting up cloud native environments. So you're already working with Kubernetes, it's amazing. Public cloud, Terraform, GitLab, salary till 55K. So you would probably get about 40K, 45K, and the normal salary for a almost senior DevOps engineer would be around 65, 70K. So finally, a traineeship is also a very important keyword to find, traineeship. So if you search for DevOps traineeship, what this means is that basically you are going to be paid a lot less, but you're going to be allowed to learn on the job. They accept that you don't have the skills yet and that you need to learn, and therefore you get paid less. But this is actually a great way into the industry if this is available in your local area. So also use that keyword to your advantage. For example, DHL here has a traineeship IT, and then you would already be trained in a large company, so you could move on from a traineeship to a more senior role in that same company, which is great. Now, the second thing that you could do is doing an internship. So maybe you could get a part-time job, and then you would work basically for free for 2 days a week at a company. And an internship is something where you are being trained, you might not even be paid, but you can be learning on the job. And something that I'm going to be saying a lot more frequently in this video is that in the beginning, skills are your most valuable asset. It's the most valuable thing that you can accumulate. When you are trying to change your careers or you're trying to land your first role, do not think about money at all. Like, if you get minimum wage, you should be happy. This is the amount of humility you should have if you want to really land a job in the industry right now. This is also what I did. And I'm going to be going deeper into this in the next section. But skills, if you can accumulate skills, that is the most important thing. And there is this conundrum where in order to land a DevOps job, you need to get experience because they ask for like 2 years of experience. But if you can't get the experience without a job. So that is where the internship comes in. Now, I am doing my part in trying to solve this problem. And that is why I launched the KubeCraft internship. So when you join my KubeCraft DevOps community, which also contains everything you need to land your first DevOps job, it has 40 hours of courses. You will learn Kubernetes. You will learn how to present yourself, set up your LinkedIn, write a CV. Everything that is needed to land your first job is in this community. But now it also includes an internship. So when you join, and there are limited spots available, but if you join today, you are guaranteed a spot. If you join the internship, then you're going to get a program which you will follow. You will complete courses in a certain order, and you will have to provide proof of completing those courses. They are designed that way. And then what you can do, my friends, is you can go to LinkedIn, go to your profile, add experience to your profile, where you will write Junior DevOps Engineer, and you will the type would be internship, and the company will be KubeCraft. So I am giving you an opportunity to get verified experience on your CV and on LinkedIn. When you join KubeCraft, you're eligible for this internship. And when you do the work, when you do the tasks and you submit that to me, I will verify it. And then you will have this on your CV. When an employer wants to verify this, I will share my contact details with you, and the employer can contact me as a reference. And I will provide that reference. I will explain what you have learned and what you have done. This is something unique. You won't find this anywhere else in the world on the internet. Try getting this with Tech World with Nana or CodeCloud. It doesn't exist. And here you can get it. So the internship lasts for as long as you are part of the community, and you can get verified experience on your CV, and I will reference you. I'm trying to do my part in solving this problem, and I think this is a great way to do it. And I can guarantee you, when you do the internship and you complete what is required for it, you're going to know a hell of a lot more than I did when I landed my first DevOps job. Let that sink in. So the third tip that I'm going to give you is to research your local market and specialize. DevOps is a very broad field, and this is why you need someone to help you. You need a mentor like me that I provide in KubeCraft to put you on the right path. And one way of figuring out the correct path for you is to do local market research. So when I go on LinkedIn and I search for AWS in the Netherlands, I get a significantly less amount of jobs than when I search for Azure. So for me living in the Netherlands, it makes a lot more sense to specialize on the Azure cloud. GCP, Google Cloud, has almost no jobs available. So even though I would love to learn GCP, why would I do that? Because I can't land a job. That's the thing. So you have to figure out what your local market is asking for. Do they want Jenkins or do they not want Jenkins? Companies here in the Netherlands don't ask for Jenkins, yet Tech World with Nana recommends you learn Jenkins. It's useless if you're not going to get a job. So you have to research your market. And then when you find these niches, you specialize in them. You hone down your learning to learn these skills. And then when you present yourself to the job, then you tick off all the boxes. And then it's more likely that you will get into an interview. So you need to specialize. This is very important because DevOps is too broad, especially in the beginning. Now, a second point here is that job descriptions are written by HR. They are usually not written by the tech people. HR just gets a request to hire a DevOps engineer, and then they take all of the previous job descriptions and just put them in a pile. And this is where you get job descriptions where, yeah, you need to have 5 years of experience with both AWS, Azure, and GCP. You need to know Kubernetes, Linux, Windows Server, Jenkins, Argo CD, Flux, etc. Right? So they just spew out every single technology that they will find when they Google DevOps, and then they hope for the best and they try to find a unicorn. So don't be discouraged when you see these job descriptions. You have to tick off some of the boxes, but don't feel that you can't apply if you are lacking a few. As long as you can convince them that you're able to learn, or they might not even need the skills, but don't be discouraged. Just apply anyway. If you have the basics of Linux, Kubernetes, a cloud provider, and Python coding, then you can apply for anything, seriously. Those are the basics that you need. Now, circling back to this internship, traineeship point that I was making before, you can outcompete anyone if you are simply willing to work for less money. Companies only think about money, and if they can save $10,000 a year by hiring you instead of a different candidate, they will go for you if you somewhat meet their requirements. You can outcompete anybody. I'm going to repeat it again. You can outcompete anybody if you are cheaper, if you are simply willing to work for less. If you are changing careers, if you made it your life's mission, like I did, when I decided I wanted a tech career, I was working as a nurse. I had no previous experience in the industry, but I simply made it my life's mission to land a tech job. Even if it took me 10 years, I was gonna do it. It took me 6 months, but because I made this determination, I was willing to do anything to land my first job. And I literally said, I'm willing to work for minimum wage if I can get my first position. And that's what ended up happening. I earned a little bit more than minimum wage, but it wasn't much more. But the thing is, I realized that it's not about money in the beginning. Your most important asset in the beginning, in the first 1 or 2 years of your career in the tech industry, specifically DevOps, skills are your most valuable asset. No amount of money is going to be worth more than your skills, the skills that you build up on the job. Think about it. 2 years of DevOps experience is worth, at the current state of the market, easily $100K a year in the US, but it's easily $150K in the US. That's the average salary for Kubernetes jobs. So if you work for 10 years as a DevOps engineer, you're going to be earning $1.5 million before taxes. Now, does it make sense to apply for hundreds of jobs now and saying, oh, I need to get more than minimum wage. I need to get this amount of income because I feel I should be compensated honestly for my work. Is that really worth it, not getting a job? If you can outcompete someone and work for cheaper, and then in the next 10 years earn $1.5 million, what's the rush? Why would you then limit yourself? Landing your first position is your number one priority. Work for minimum wage, work for free if you have to for 6 months, and deliver pizzas to buy food. But land your first position, get your first six to 12 months on your CV, and you're going to be earning $1.5 million over the next 10 years. That is the most important. Skills are your most important asset. Work for free or work for less, and your future self is going to thank you. So the fifth and last point I have for you is to start a home lab. Seriously, this is the most important thing that you need to do if you want to land a job in the DevOps industry. Start a home lab, and as I explained in my DevOps roadmap video, we have Michael Cade here, who is a field CTO for Veeam. He says, I was tweeting about this, and he says, I completely agree with this. Some people love exams, but I think the practical approach will beat exams every day of the week. So if you come to him and you say, I'm running a 5-node Kubernetes cluster in my closet, then he is going to put you above other candidates who might have a CS degree and tons of certifications, because you have actually done the work. You know how it works. A couple of more proofs of this point are, check out my DevOps roadmap video. There is a lot of this in here. But here it says, true, been a CTO and CEO myself and would hire that guy on the spot. This is where I was talking about having a Kubernetes cluster at home. And here, this guy got hired at Microsoft because he got asked about his home lab. So start a home lab. This is the most important thing that you need to do, because certifications are important. I'm not against certifications. I highly recommend you get them, but you need to supplement that with your own practical skills. And it's a lot of fun. And be aware, the self-hosting rabbit hole is a fun but addictive rabbit hole to get into, but it's super fun.